Also, just away from COVID for a second, believe it or not, we might leave with something else tonight. The Greens have worked out how they are going to pay for all of their magical promises. They have announced a super profits tax, a Titans tax, a moguls tax. Because, of course, every single company that has an awful lot of money has a moustache-twirling billionaire with a monocle and a cigar. And it is at the broken back of the worker that they are able to make such money. Now, this is going to apply to all companies that have a profit of more than $100 million. So everything from supermarkets to banks and mining companies. It'll raise the best part of $400 billion in 10 years. The Greens leader said that big corporations making big profits should pay more tax as opposed to the tax of company tax that they already pay or payroll tax that they already pay. But anyway, the tycoon tax will also go after non-mining companies, but as I said, a turnover, by the way, not profit, I apologise, turnover of more than $100 million. So your profit is actually irrelevant. It's the size of your business, how much money comes in and how much money goes out. But who cares? You're getting an extra tax of 40%. Miners would be subject to a 40% tax, mine by mine, project by project. Now, of course, this means that they have an ultimate source to say everything we like is free. And this will be rather delectable to those who will end up voting for them. The promise of no more university debt and compulsory re-education camps for Sky News hosts, whatever their plans may be. But remember, the Greens can do this because they are never going to be the government of Australia. They are able to effectively be the protest party because they never have to put anything in place. But Adam Bandt is a little bit different because Adam Bandt is saying up front that if it was a hung parliament at the next election, that he wants a power-sharing arrangement with the Greens. Now, of course, Albo has automatically said, no, this is not happening. This will not happen under a government I lead. If only there wasn't recent history of about a decade ago when somebody thought that they could win a majority for the Labor Party but ended up with a minority for the Labor Party. And, well, this promise...
There will be no carbon tax under the government I lead.
Turned into this arrangement that, of course, meant there was a formal deal done. Looking over the shoulder of Gillard is Wayne Swan, the then Deputy Prime Minister, now National Labor Party President, and Adam Bandt, member for Melbourne and now Greens leader. Now, the truth is that, again, the Greens will not become the next government of Australia. But one thing is absolutely certain. Labor can't even form opposition without Greens preferences. If they ended up in a position where even if the Labor Party got a majority in the lower house, they wouldn't get a majority in the upper house. The only way they would get a majority in the upper house is with, you guessed it, the Greens. So what will their price be? Now, presumably it won't be something as ludicrous as a super profits tax, but what will the Greens' tail do to the Labor dog? We saw when it was a carbon tax, Julia Gillard went from the roll gold promise of it's not going to happen to it happened. What will be the version of Albo's roll gold promise? And almost every promise he makes between now and the election comes with a giant asterisk. If we get a majority in both houses. No party will get a majority in both houses. The consequences of every federal election really matter. But you need to know that the Greens are nuttier than they have ever been. They are also more emboldened than they have ever been. They have their own mates in the media, and of course, they have their bullies on Twitter. They own much of the cultural elite and most of the education system. Many of the people inside the bureaucracy are well and truly of the Greens mindset, and even then, we see policies constantly coming out of the bureaucracy that look like they came out of Adam Bandt's office. So if you're someone who thinks that a change of government will just be a change of people addressing National Cabinet, you're wrong. Because should Labor win the next election, it will be the Greens who will be most empowered. They will be in a position to yay or nay every piece of legislation. They'll either do it through a minority in the lower house, or if Albo got a majority, they would definitely get it in the Senate. That will be a major change for our country. One that not even 10% of the country expected they would be able to get, because you see, the thing about Greens voters that they love is that they love being all protest and no responsibility. If they got into a position of power, though, everything changes. Not for the better.